Okay, we are going to talk about handling retrograde energies. So this, oh my gosh, I love this topic. And I honestly thought I had taught this topic earlier in the year or late last year, but it's been like 2 years since I taught this topic. So there was a lot of updating to do because there's a lot going on. So like I mentioned before I hit the record button, if you have any essential oil blends, I'm going to talk in a little bit of why I'm recommending a blend over a single oil. Go grab a blend that you're drawn to, whether it's Harmony, Valor, Transformation, Rise Above, any of those. Grab your crystals because we are going to dive in. We're going to dive in. So, all right, we're not diagnosing, treating, curing, or preventing any disease. We are talking energetics. So even though I'm an attorney and I've got this big old left brain logical thing happening in my mind all the time, I have been studying universal and planetary energies for decades. And we are in some very powerful, very, very interesting times. And when you know about the influences, especially of planetary energies, you can find balance and you can feel well in these energies. But you got to know, if you don't know what's going on, it's hard to get into a solution-based way of thinking. So I am going to be talking astrology. I am not a certified astrologist, but I have been studying astrology for, oh my gosh, probably close to 40 years. And that totally aged me when I said that. It totally aged me. I have literally been studying astrology since I was a teenager. So I just never got a certification. So maybe I ought to do that because I do like them and I do have quite a few of them. So yes, so I am coming at this from the energetics with the 7 different energetic certifications that I do have. And I'm hoping this is going to really help you and make some sense. So before I get started in the chat, if you would like to share, I would just love to know how you're feeling physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually, or all of them. Like, what is your primary thing? Do you feel achy? Do you feel angry? Do you feel numb? Do you feel disconnected? Do you feel fearful? Do you feel sick to your stomach all the time? Do you have unexplained medical things going on? All of the above. Let me know how you're feeling. So before we dive into that, this sort of stuff that I'm talking about tonight is the stuff that we dive into in the Sacred Shift. So if you have looked at that and if you're really interested in it, I'm going to be offering a discount just for people who you're either, there's a 50% discount if you're in my oil team. If you're in the crystal cluster, I'm going to offer a special discount. If you come to stuff like this, I'm going to offer a special discount. I really want to help people understand what's going on. And I have people that have been in the Sacred Shift for almost 2 years, and I can start seeing how they're doing. So if you're interested, certainly reach out and I can give you a discount code for that. So I'm looking at the comments. Short-tempered, all of the above, overwhelmed, some body stuff going on. Yeah. There's a lot going on. So, all right, I'm going to have you look at that pretty picture because what is really happening is that we are in the process of upgrading. I mean, that's really the only way I can begin to explain it. We are upgrading at a cellular and a DNA level. We are mostly a water-based being. Water fluctuates all the time. If you've ever studied Dr. Emoto and his water experiments, you know you can literally change the structure of water with your words and with your thoughts. So we're just basically a bottle of water walking around being influenced by everything. So when I get into the planets, you may really, really start to understand this, and it's hopefully going to help give you some answers and help you understand some things. But you know, we are energetic beings, and we are changing. We are absolutely changing as human beings. And what a lot of people call this is the Great Awakening or the Ascension. Some people call it the Golden Age. It's got a lot of different names. But what is happening are a lot of different things at once. And I'm primarily going to focus on the planetary retrogrades because that's part of it. But the Earth, all the planets in our universe, all of the universes, there are thousands of universes around us, as well as the sun, are all evolving. I mean, they're all living entities. The Earth is not dead. I mean, the Earth actually has a heartbeat. It's called the Schumann resonance. And it has an energy to it, and it has a vibration, and it is evolving. And all of this, the Earth, all the planets in our universe, the sun, absolutely everything influences us. So we are evolving, whether we know it and whether we agree to it. Kind of like the law of gravity. You don't have to understand it, but it keeps you sucked to the Earth so that you don't float off into space. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to agree with it. You could think it's a big conspiracy theory. Doesn't matter. It is what it is. We are evolving. It is what it is. And so I really want you to think back 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Have you changed? What you think about, has that changed? Your mindset, what you do, what you're focused on, how you relate to people, the things that you're interested in. I mean, I've been an attorney in criminal prosecution for 28 years. Now look at what I'm doing. I still do a little bit of that, but now look at what I'm doing. I mean, talk about an evolution. But also within this Great Awakening, you know, some bizarre events have happened. And I always look at why. Why is this happening? Why now? Why? You know, why are people responding the way they are? You know, why is there so much aggression and violence? Why was there a pandemic when it happened? You know, why? And there's a lot of things that are going to come our way. And, you know, as humans, we are questioning things more than ever before. And many people in the spiritual world predicted that this awakening would start in 2020. It kind of did, right? People got locked down, sat at home, and they're like, what are we going to do? So, you know, there's many things that are happening that are coming together to create upheaval and change, which is not a bad thing. None of this is a bad thing unless you decide it's going to be bad. We're being asked to wake up, okay? We are being bombarded with numerous energies to really upgrade us and evolve us. I mean, just even think back 25 years, you know, the internet was just starting. There was no such thing as social media. You know, we weren't basically walking around with a computer in our pocket, taking phones from these things. I mean, if we right now were to transport back 25 years ago and talk to our 25-year younger self and say, hey, you're going to have this nifty little thing that you carry in your pocket. You can take photos and videos of it and post it on the internet, you know, and get on social media. We all would be looking like, you need to be institutionalized. Like, that is crazy talk. So, I mean, just think of how far we've come. We have been upgrading all of these times. You know, we're upgrading as a society. You know, so it's kind of like working out. You know, the more we work out, the better we feel, you know, the better it works. And so with all these energies, including understanding that we're in some serious retrograde energies, the more you understand it and work with it, the better you're going to feel. That's exactly what we do in the sacred shift. We understand all the parts and pieces so we can flow with it and not fight it and punch it in the face. Because if we try to fight it, it's going to punch back. So, the earth is evolving. We are evolving with her. It can create a lot of discomfort, a lot of physical symptoms, a lot of emotional disharmony. We're really clearing out thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of years of these disharmonic energies. It's a lot of energy, some of it dark, some of it old, whatever you want to call it. And it's just being given permission to surface so that it can be released once and for all. And I kind of sit back and I watch what happens. Sometimes I feel like I'm literally in the movie theater of life. And it's like I'm even watching my life play out on the screen. I'm sitting back, I'm watching everything play out on the screen, sitting there eating my popcorn. And, I find that people who are fighting against it and they want to get back to normal, or they get sucked into negative events like negative news and politics and religion and all the things that nobody is ever going to agree on, they feel so much discord and disharmony and discomfort in their life, and then they have more to complain about, more to strike out against, and it's like a dog chasing its tail. So it's like, if you're fighting against the energy, you're going to have a lot to fight against. But when you recognize the energy and flow with it, you actually flow. And so when I look at the last couple of years, especially since the thing, as I call it, came into our world, we had really gotten out of control as a society. And we got into this energy of being busy. We wore busyness like a badge of honor. Like, look at how busy I am. Oh my gosh, I'm so busy. I got so much to do. And all the energies just basically said, you know what? We're just going to give the world a timeout. Everybody sit at home. Sit at home. Think about what you're doing. So a lot of people began numbing themselves. Well, a lot of this is really in relation to the energies and especially the planetary retrograde. And when you find yourself mindlessly scrolling on social media with no purpose, you're binge watching on Netflix or Amazon Prime, you're drinking excessively, you're just doing things that are not good for you, it's because the energies are so harsh, and you can look at that. So I actually read something a couple months ago in Psychology Today that said when you watch the same shows over and over, your mind is so anxious that you go to those reruns because you know the outcome already. And I'm like, okay, I watch, The Office and Harry Potter movies and Hallmark movies because I know the outcome, especially in a Hallmark movie. Everybody knows the outcome. It's all good. It's all good because when you're dealing with a lot, your brain can't handle surprise. So we're being asked to raise ourselves out of this energy. And when you raise your vibration and you raise your energy and you're accepting of the new energies because you understand them, you'll see the chaos, but you're not sucked into it. You will see the infighting. You will see the negativity, but you're not living it. What you do is you help other people simply with your energy and your lifestyle. You don't have to get on social media screaming about something, hoping that people are going to believe it. It's like, just live your life. And that's what happens. So yeah, what you put out into the universe is what you get back. Absolutely. Be careful what you talk about. Be careful what you wish for, because it's all coming. So, so what are the energies that are influencing us? So, tonight I'm just going to really talk about retrograde energies. I'm going to talk for a smidge about eclipse season. But we're very influenced by our planet, and we're very influenced by everything in our universe, from all the planets to the star systems, everything. The moon, the sun, you name it. Some feel it very strongly, like last night, even though we are a couple days post full moon. Guess who only got 4 hours of sleep a night? That would be me. That would be yours truly. I see hands being raised. Yeah. Well, there was major energies coming in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, now I just need to take a magnesium pill and just, an herbal supplement and just try to make myself pass out. So some people feel it strongly, other people feel nothing, usually because they've been numbing themselves. They truly feel nothing. But in the end, we're all impacted, and we can see it in how people are responding, because everything is energy, everything is frequency. So what I want to talk about are all the planets that are in retrograde. And you're probably looking at that list and you're like, holy crap, holy crap. You know what? It's actually quite good. It's actually quite good. And here's the thing. One of my favorite phrases is change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. So I don't want anybody freaking out about the word retrograde anymore, because retrograde just simply means an opportunity to review, reassess, redo, reinvent. All the re's, re. Okay. So planets in general tend to retrograde about 1 time a year. Mercury likes to come around 3 to 4 times a year. We're in Mercury retrograde. Okay, don't freak out. It's all okay. But I'm going to kind of go in order from really how it started this year. And we're in 6 planets right now. Are we in 6? No, we're in 7. We're in 7 now. So we just flipped over into the 7th one. But you can see that some of these retrogrades have been going on a while. So if you're looking at this and it's like, ooh, okay, now this is starting to make sense, because I started really becoming imbalanced, unglued, feeling unwell, back in June. Well, yeah, look at what's been going on. So let me go one by one through these. So Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. Okay, so Pluto is the planet of transformation and upheaval. And you're probably thinking, oh, goody, yay, thank you. Can we have more of that, please? It's actually not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. So what Pluto is doing now, and we have until October 8th, it's breaking down what no longer works. So for you, it's breaking down what no longer works. And in society, it's breaking down what no longer works. I literally keep a journal of historical events, and I can track it to retrograde. And it's fascinating, absolutely fascinating. So what Pluto retrograde is also doing is it's giving us an opportunity. We're never forced to do anything, but we get all these opportunities. And if we ignore it, the opportunity is going to become stronger next time. Okay. So we're getting yet another opportunity to heal our inner child and let go of old wounds. So this is going to be a Chiron influence. And if you don't know what Chiron is in your astrological birth chart, run your astrological birth chart to find out where Chiron is. Because Chiron is just literally your wounds, and it gives you really good insight. So your old wounds may be surfacing. Now, what's interesting, it takes Pluto 225 years to go through all 12 zodiacs. Right now, it has returned to its home sign of Capricorn. Okay, Pluto is home. The last time it was at this precise degree in Capricorn, which is 27 degrees in Capricorn, the last time this happened, the US signed the Declaration of Independence. Whoa, whoa, that's amazing, because that was all about freedom. So for the US, we're going to be in upheaval, as a lot of the world will be. I mean, we're seeing it in the UK right now with the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. And all of these prime ministers have resigned, Prime Minister of UK, the Prime Minister of Japan. There was another one, Prime Minister of Sri Lanka. I mean, there's all this upheaval that's been happening. So, we're going to be in upheaval as we find a new way in the new energies. And it's helping us with our evolution and with our growth, but it's doing through societal upheaval. So all of a sudden, you're going to see topics come up in the news, topics become important, and it's helping us heal our inner child. Okay, so let me give an example of what that means. So one item of societal upheaval here in the US, which is kind of specific to the US. One topic that is really an upheaval right now is gun control. Pair that with healing your inner child, children have been targeted. You see how this works when you look at it like this? So wounds are surfacing. We need to release them. We need to heal our inner child and not let it turn angry and violent and killing, and not dump it on other people. But there are people who don't know how to handle these energies. I'm going to give you solutions at the end of this, but there are people that don't know how to handle the energies. So they're literally becoming fried from the inside out, and they act out. So this Pluto retrograde is most impacting anybody with the sun sign in Scorpio and Capricorn. All right. So we've been in that for a while. We've been in that energy, and I see it play out. I see it play out, sadly, but it is literally pushing us to heal our inner wounds and make some really big decisions, which means we have to topple some structures. All right, so stay tuned because we're not done. All right, let's hop ahead to Saturn in Aquarius. Okay, so Saturn is known as the Lord of Karma. Oh my gosh, talk about a name to be called the Lord of Karma. And it's because Saturn helps sort out karmic debts. So we all come in with karmic lessons. Some people need to come in and learn how to be independent. Some people need to learn how to be patient, or handle disappointment. We have all sorts of karmic lessons. And so when Saturn goes retrograde, this is when we start seeing either karmic rewards or karmic punishments being doled out. Okay. So again, my journal is just full of events that have happened. Writing down all the karmic rewards, all of the karmic punishments that are happening. But for us, it's really a good time, because for all of us, there's nothing evil that we really have to account for. That's not us. But it's an opportunity for us to review our boundaries and our discipline, our willpower, our responsibilities. And if you avoid your karmic lessons, they're going to come in harder the next time, and harder the next time, and harder the next time, and they will smack you upside the head. You will learn the lesson at some point. It's better to learn it sooner rather than later because it's not so harsh. And so in this Saturn retrograde, the main question that we're being asked is, what is stopping you from creating the future that you want? There's one answer. You are stopping you from creating the future that you want. Society is not doing it. The government is not stopping you. The medical system is not stopping you. Your education is not stopping you. Your financial abundance or lack thereof is not stopping you. The people around you are not stopping you. It's you. So it's going to put in your face what is stopping you. Okay, so that is your karma. getting sorted out and realizing that you are an empowered being. And it's time to act like it. Okay. It's going to most impact Capricorn and Aquarians. Everybody's going to feel it though, but that's who's going to get hit the hardest. And it's a good hit, right? Because we all should be living the life that we want. But how many people go through life and say, well, I can't do that. I'm not allowed to do that. They literally trap themselves in their own prison. Saturn says, here's the key. Here's the key. Go unlock yourself. All right, let's go to Neptune in retrograde. So Neptune spends about 14 years in each astrological sign. And Neptune is the master of illusion. But when Neptune goes retrograde, the veil over our eyes is removed. And this is when we can be faced with some harsh, painful realities. When people are faced with harsh, painful realities, that's when all of a sudden they go spiritual. They get out of their ego identity because they go into a deep, like finding the deep meaning of life. Now, when they go into this spiritual ascension, they can also go down a conspiracy rabbit hole. Okay, so, you know, at the end, I'm going to talk about how you discern truth, because right now, there's a lot of different timelines on this planet, and everybody's truth is different. So you have to find what's true for you, which means just not believe everything that you're told. Like even all of this, I always encourage everybody, go out and research what I'm telling you. Okay, just don't blindly take it. So yes, so this is all with this veil being removed. We're going to see some things. And it's like, whoa, I had no idea that was happening in our world. I had no idea that was happening in our country or in my town. I had no idea that was happening with my neighbor, my friend that I know, with my boss. It's like all of a sudden, the rose-colored glass veil is lifted. And it's like, whoa, look at that. Look at that. All right. Pisces is going to be most impacted. I love Neptune. I love Neptune retrograde. It's like, get these rose-colored glasses off of me. I want to know what's going on. So I'm digging it. I'm digging it in a big way. It's really fascinating. It's fascinating because when you don't take sides in anything and you watch karma play out and you watch upheaval and transformation play out and you watch the illusion being stripped away and you're not taking sides, you're literally just sitting in a movie theater. It's like, whoa, fascinating. Fascinating. It's like reading a good mystery book. It's like, ooh. So that's what we're in right now. Okay, let's go to Chiron retrograde. So you probably maybe haven't heard of Chiron, but this is the planet that rules our wounds. Okay, so Chiron is retrograde in Aries. And so you may feel your wounds bubbling up. Maybe you're feeling more sensitive, but they're trying to come up to heal. So when a wound bubbles up, it's reminding us of it so that we can heal it. So it's an opportunity to be more introspective and reflective, to heal the wound and not stuff it back down. So this is why I love teaching all the classes that I do, whether it's crystals, oils, integrated energy therapy, whatever it is, it's an opportunity to heal. And I always tell everybody, let the emotion bubble it up, because if you stuff it back down, it's going to be 10 times harder for us to pull it back out. So let it bubble up. This is your wounds, and it's working in conjunction with Pluto. Most impacted is going to be Aries, but we're all going to feel it. So look at what you're reacting to. What are your triggers? What's triggering you? That's what needs to be healed. All right. Jupiter. Jupiter starts out retrograde in Aries and then it flips to Pisces. So What Jupiter in retrograde does is it helps us to see the blocks that are in our way. It's going to help us either walk around the blocks, jump over the blocks, remove the blocks so that we can pursue opportunities and allow things to come to us, because so many times we say that we want something, and then when it's presented, we're like, no, 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 I'm too busy, I'm too busy, I'm too overwhelmed, I can't handle that. No, take it back. And all the energies are like, but you asked for it and I gave it to you. All right, you don't want it? It's like ordering that book on Amazon. The Amazon truck person delivers it to you and you're like, no, 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 I don't have time to read it. Okay, with that analogy, just take it. Doesn't mean you have to do something right away. So you're going to start seeing more opportunities. Allow things to come to you. So on October 28th, it's going to go into Pisces. It's going to still be retrograding, but it's going to retrograde in Pisces. So it's going to feel more reflective and you're going to feel more intuitive, and your beliefs are going to be strengthened and even changed. Okay, we're in a retrograde season where a lot of people's beliefs are going to be changed, and mindsets are going to be changed. Opinions are going to change about things that people literally hunkered down in their belief. And when we get to the end of this year, they're going to look back and say, look at me, I changed my mind. That's one of the great things about being a human. You get to change your mind at any point in time. So don't feel bad about that. Don't feel bad. So this is going to most impact sun signs of Aries, Sagittarius, Aquarius, and Pisces. They're going to feel this the most. Then we just entered Uranus retrograde. So Uranus is retrograding in Taurus. Now, Uranus doesn't like being in Taurus. It is its least favorite sign to be in. So, okay, all right, knowing that, Uranus rules divine awakening and accelerated transformation, but it can also rule revolution, rebellion, big changes, structures in our world falling, maybe in how we invest money, where we get food, freedom. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. But it's also about rapid innovation and change, especially after a time of restriction, which we are coming out of a time of restriction. So I think we're going to see some rapid innovation, some change, people being focused on inner freedom, which I'll talk about later, and living authentically inspired. You know, you're going to feel an increased drive to be on a new authentic life path. So it's major, major transformation for anyone with the astrological sun sign in Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Okay, so this is a good one. Even though Uranus doesn't like being in Taurus, the sign of the bull is coming out. Okay, so this is going to be a big push energy for awakening. Then we just entered Mercury retrograde for the second time this year. And it starts in Libra, which is all air energy. And then it's going to end in Virgo, which is earth energy. So from September 10th to the 23rd, it's in Libra. So this air energy is all about balancing relationships. So you may have some relationship issues come to light so that you can address them. Because remember, retrograde, the redo, reassess, reevaluate, review, reflect. It's all the re's. You get an opportunity with relationships. And it's also an opportunity to review your communication style by looking at how other people relate to your communication. Are you pushing them away? Are they disconnecting? Are they not engaging? Are they coming in? Are they communicating with you? So that's what the first, 2 weeks are going to look like in Mercury retrograde. And then September 23rd until October 2nd, so a little over a week, it's going to be retrograding in earthy Virgo. Now, Virgo is very meticulous. So this is the time in Mercury retrograde that you want to look at everything numerous times. You want to be very meticulous, methodical, logical, okay? Cross your T's multiple times, dot your I's multiple times, really be methodical, okay? Then, okay, so that's 7 planets in retrograde that we're in right now. That's a lot of transformation. I want to give you 2 more that are coming in at the end of the year. So on October 30th, Mars goes retrograde in Gemini. Now, Mars is the planet of anger and war and aggression and rebellion. And so it can bring out frustrations and provocations. So, you know, be cautious in communicating, because it could trigger people who don't know how to handle it, but also look at what communication is triggering you. So of course I look at this and it's like, oh, great, this is going to start, you know, a few days before midterm elections here in the US. Good grief. Oh, geez. It's like, are we not getting enough as it is? So just my word of advice would be from October 30th until about November 10th, just stay off of social media. Everybody just stay off, because there's going to be a lot of frustrations, a lot of provocations. Sit at home with your people, with your pets, your crystals, your essential oils, work with some angelic energies, basically be in your happy place. And, you know, it will start to settle down, but you're probably going to see a lot of frustration and provocation coming out in other people. And again, all you can do is manage your energy, can't manage the energy of other people. So Aries and Gemini are going to be the most impacted by this. And then at the very, very, very end of the year, December 29th, Mercury again does its final retrograde of the year in Capricorn, and it's really taking us into the new year, where this new year, as we flip over to 2023, is asking us to review the past goals from this year that we either didn't touch, didn't look at, didn't do anything, or didn't finish. And it's like, okay, go back to January 1st of this year. Look at your goal list. If you took the visioning class from me, go back to the workbook. What did you not touch? What did you not complete? That's what that Mercury retrograde is doing. It's like, okay, go back and look at it. I'm going to give you a redo, and then give them focus. So Aries and Gemini are going to be the most impacted. All right. But wait, there's more. We are going into eclipse season again. So eclipses starting in, was it the fall of last year? Was it fall or summer? I think it was fall of 2021, going until fall of 2023. All of the eclipses are happening on the Taurus-Scorpio axis. Taurus and Scorpio are polar opposites on the zodiac chart. Just like Leo and Aquarius are total opposites, okay? So it's the Taurus-Scorpio axis that has all of these eclipses for this year and going all through next year. All right, so what does that mean? That means the most impacted by these are anyone with the sun signs or even rising sign of Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius, because all of those are fixed signs and they're being impacted. They're going to feel it the most. So an eclipse is a time of increased energy that you can harness for your benefit. It's a really good thing. A solar eclipse is when the darkness of the new moon is between the brightness of the sun and the earth. Okay, so that moon is in the middle, sun, earth. So it's where darkness and light merge together. So for us, it's the start of a new cycle. It's the start of a new spiritual development. You may find that you're interested in something new. Something catches your attention. You have an epiphany. You change a belief system. You change your mind about something. Solar eclipses are about change, new beginnings, the manifestation of new things. So solar eclipses are the best time to set new intentions. So you may feel the buildup of pressure, feel that things are moving faster during a solar eclipse. I mean, even accidents can happen during a solar eclipse, but solar eclipses are something to capitalize on. We have one coming October 25th. So if you stay tuned on my Facebook or Instagram page, I will give you the exact time, because there's usually a time range and then there's like the height of it. And I will give that to you so that you can tap into that energy. And then we have a total lunar eclipse, which is going to be awesome. So a lunar eclipse is when the full moon passes into the Earth's shadow. And a lunar eclipse is the time for beginnings and endings, major changes, usually involving relationships. So emotions tend to run a little high. Actions taken usually have some unexpected results. And you get awareness of yourself. So, you know, the energy can be felt a couple days beforehand, a couple days afterhand. And like the solar eclipse, you may feel restless, you may move faster, you may have trouble sleeping. But a lunar eclipse is the time to literally see the light in your life, to release outdated beliefs and to walk in your truth. So that's coming with all of that retrograde energy. So you can capitalize on transformation, upheaval, especially if there's something in your life and you're like, this has got to change. Maybe it's your finances, your work, your health, your relationships, your physical activity, the food you eat. What is it? Could be your mindset. It's how you're thinking about something. You know you're supposed to do something, but you're not doing it. Why are you not doing it? Tap into all of this, because you're literally, you can get in a canoe and ride down you can go whitewater rafting down the river and get to where you need to go. Okay. So these eclipses are going to challenge you to release a mindset and a lifestyle that no longer serves you. It's helpful if you know what it is. Relationships may be tense, so be ultra patient and kind. And if you feel uncomfortable, just ask yourself, what is this discomfort? What do I need to do to transform it? Who do I need to be? And then listen for the answer. If you're so busy or numbing yourself, you can't listen. You can't listen. All right. So what does this all mean? Well, there's a lot of things that you can feel with all of this churning energy. You might feel angry and fed up and agitated and fidgety. We're in a time where people are clashing, groups are clashing, institutions are clashing. And you may feel angry and you're like, I don't know why I'm angry. Why am I having this angry outburst? It could be the outside energy. You're just an empath and you're taking it on. Or maybe it's something in you that needs to bubble up and be released. You may feel wired and tired. What that means is at night you're wired and in the morning you're tired. Well, that's a classic sign of adrenal fatigue, but it's also a classic sign, a symptom of this great awakening, this ascension that we're in. So you've really got to dive into extreme self-care, extreme self-care. If you don't take care of yourself, everyone around you suffers. One of the lessons we are being taught is we have to stop sacrificing ourselves for other people. If you have children, the best thing that you can teach them is how you take care of yourself. Okay? No more wired and tired. You may feel overwhelmed, anxious, sad, depressed, helpless, lethargic. One day you may be super high and energized. The next you're laying on the couch and you're like, I feel depressed, apathetic. I feel numb. Some people are immobilized. They're stuck. They feel like they're in quicksand. They're like, I have these goals, but man, I'm going nowhere fast. I'm like in a Fred Flintstone car. I am going nowhere fast. I need to get into a George Jetson car. You may feel sleepless, have trouble sleeping. Your immunity can crash from the fear and the stress. I'm even finding that people's, the food and the drinks that they used to love, they no longer can tolerate. I know a lot of people, they're like, I can't drink coffee anymore. You know, I know people who used to love tea. They used to love drinking beer and wine, and they're like, I can't drink it anymore. People used to, I had friends who used to be meat eaters, and now they're vegans. They're like, I literally cannot stomach meat. So, you know, as you change, so are all your tastes going to change. Your interests are going to change. Maybe your friends change, the group that you hang out with, especially if you're doing the work. So lots and lots of different things you can experience. So I share this because I don't want anybody to think that they're going crazy. And that's what I hear from a lot of people. You know, they contact me and they're like, Allie, I think I'm going crazy. I think I need to be medicated. Yeah, the only medication you need is frankincense oil and a clear quartz crystal. That's what you need. You do not need to be medicated. You're fine. You're just feeling what's happening energetically. And there's a lot more than this. I could go into the solar flares, the Schumann resonance. I mean, there's a ton of stuff happening. So you're not crazy. This is just how you're responding to it. So what can you do? Okay, I'm going to go through some lifestyle techniques or some energetic changes. I'm going to recommend some oils and I'm going to recommend some crystals, okay? Now, when I talk about essential oils, I'm only going to be recommending some blends. Here's why. You know, I can certainly talk about the energetics of frankincense and how it helps on the grief meridian in the lungs, and, you know, how rose is a heart healer and all of that. But when you're dealing with a Young Living blend that has been blended for a result, a frequency, a purpose, it is more powerful than any single oil that you're going to find. So I'm just going to recommend blends. Okay. So if somebody is watching this and you use oils from another company, if you look at this and you're like, oh, I think I need to get some of those, whether it's me or somebody else invited you here, get with that person so that they can help you get these oils. And when it comes to crystals, you can find 1,000 different crystals for handling retrograde energies. So it just depends on what is bubbling up in you. What are you responding to? What is impacting you the most? So my philosophy is to work with the crystals that you have are the ones that you're drawn to. Okay, you know what you're drawn to in crystals and oils when you either see it in the store and you want to buy it, or you smell the oil and it really resonates with you. Okay, that's what you're drawn to. All right. My first recommendation for anything is to always just eat real food and drink pure water. You got to keep the energies in your body moving. And if you're filling your body with junk, the energies are going to get stuck and then they're going to feel really uncomfortable. Energetically, I am seeing some crazy medical diagnosis happening to people. And if they can just literally detox their body with real food and water, they're going to feel dramatically better. So when I say real food, you look at it and it's in its original form. Like, oh, here's an almond. Oh, here's a cucumber. Okay, it's in its original form, real food. So you all know my mantra, nothing from a bag, a box, or a drive-in window. Okay, so that's always the foundation of everything. All right, my next piece of advice is, because a lot of this, we need to focus on grounding to the earth so that we ride her energy, but we also have to raise our vibration because she's raising her vibration. We have to go with her. Okay, so this is soul work being done for us. So every day, you've got to work it into your schedule, whether you pray or meditate or just have quiet time. Settle into a routine because it's going to help you focus on your inner voice and you're going to get guidance. You're going to find courage to transform. You're going to know what to do. You're going to know what's true. I mean, literally, you're going to heal your wounds. Your authentic self is going to come out. I mean, all these things that I'm about to talk about are going to happen. This is a big one. And so when people say to me, but Allie, I don't have time, well, then you don't have a life. You don't. If you don't even have 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day that you can sit in quiet, whose life are you living? Okay. So the oils I really like are Valor, because this takes courage to go through this time. Okay. You have the courage to rise up. You have the courage to flow through this and actually feel better, be a better version of yourself. Okay. I also like the transformation oil. I'll tell you, if I'm going to make a lot of recommendations, transformation and Valor are foundational oils. If you just had those two, that's all you need. That's all you need. Transformation is such a huge one for me. It's going to help you drop old belief systems. It's going to help bubble up and release the wounds and transform them. It's going to stop the self-sabotage. It's going to help you change your thoughts and change your world. That's what all this retrograde energies are asking us to do. And for crystals, I'm not even recommending a crystal, because when you meditate or pray or have your quiet time, this is a personal crystal. You pick what you want, whatever you're drawn to. Okay. All right. Next, working on your emotional wounds. This is what Pluto in retrograde and Chiron in retrograde are giving us an opportunity to do. So learn about Chiron, where it is in your astrological chart, because what may be coming up is anger, resentment, self-sabotage, the opportunity to forgive. Your shadow side, your dark side is coming up. We all can't be, light and fluffy unicorns and fairies and kittens and puppies all the time. Where there's light, there's dark. Where there's dark, there's light. So we all have a dark side. What is it? This is an opportunity to do some healing work on it, because it will come out in a self-sabotage response. So how do you self-sabotage? Do you say you're going to do something and you don't do it? That's self-sabotage. Do you set a goal? You don't do anything toward it? That's self-sabotage. Do you know what you need to do and you're not doing it? That's self-sabotage. I mean, there's like a million different ways that we self-sabotage. But also some of these emotional wounds are ancestral. I mean, we are literally having so much energy clear out of the planet right now that, lucky us, we get to feel it. So there could be things clearing through you that come from your ancestors. And how this all shows up, how these wounds and the shadow self shows up, I see it on social media. People show their wounds all the time. They're shaming people, or they're just kind of using social media like a psychiatrist. And they're putting their wounds out there, but yet they don't want help. You know, I have a rescuer mentality, which I'm working on to not have, because somebody puts a wound out there. I don't care if they don't want my help. I'm going to offer it. That's just what I do. It's probably not the best thing. I should wait for somebody to ask for help, right? That'd be the best thing. So yeah, so people show their wounds on social media. They show it in their words. They show it in their actions. They show it in shaming other people. So whatever is triggering you right now, that is what needs to be healed. Recognize it and heal it. The oils I like are release and forgiveness. The name says it all. Release will help you bubble up and release those emotions once and for all. And then you got to put something in its place, and you have to put forgiveness, because a lot of times we're hard on ourselves and we just need to forgive that we didn't know. We didn't know that that rage, anger, unforgiveness, resentment, guilt, distrust, shame, we didn't know that that was in ourselves. So just forgive yourself, let it out. And then your crystals are rose quartz, which is all about unconditional love and being good to yourself. That is the be good to yourself crystal, because it releases heartache and grief. And a lot of people are grieving the world that we used to live in. Well, that's in the past and we can't go backwards. Rose quartz helps. Kunzite is a great crystal. This is the stone of emotion. It's also another unconditional love crystal, and it connects us to universal love. So it brings an energy of belonging, especially if you feel like, wow, all these people around me are leaving. Like, I'm energetically changing, and so I'm changing, so they're leaving, and I feel alone. A lot of people feel isolated now. With kunzite, it connects you to universal love, source love, God love, so that you feel like you belong. Okay, that's like a ramped up version of rose quartz. The next thing that you can do is to really work on increasing your intuition. This requires you to detox your entire energy field so that you can literally see. You can see, you just know stuff. Okay, you just know when something's true and when something is a pile of BS. But if you haven't detoxed your body, you're not going to get there. So, you know, if you're still eating crap food, you know, your intuition is just going to stay quiet. So when you can literally cleanse your body, good food, you know, real, you know, pure water, cleanse and detox in body, mind, and spirit, it's really going to help. And you're going to be able to discern truth, know your authentic path, especially if you feel stuck or lost. Because when we trust our intuition, it's always right. Where decisions go wrong is when we trust our ego. We can never get rid of our ego. It's there as a safety lever. But ego stands for ego, edging God out. Don't rely on that. Rely on your intuition, because it's a direct energy to source. So the oils that I like are Envision, because, you know, and with all these oils, you want to smell them. You want to get them into the limbic region of the brain. And Envision is going to literally defog your intuition, your sight, so that you can see the answers that you need. And it helps you to envision your dreams and your goals so that you can release overwhelm and fear and feeling stuck from moving forward. I mean, it's like defogging, you know, that nice eye that's on your forehead. And then the Into the Future oil helps you release negativity so that you can look forward to new goals and dreams and leave the past behind, you know, visualize and just move beyond restrictions. That's what that oil does. And then for a crystal, I really like azurite, because it connects your third eye intuitive center with your crown, which is your knowing center, for really massive intuitive development. I mean, it just raises your consciousness and your connection. You can meditate with it. It gives you new, higher perspectives, because you can't solve a problem with the same energy that created it. Here's the problem down here. You got to get up here. to resolve it. That's what Azurite does. All right, the next thing you can do is to really discern what is true for you. Okay, so just not blindly believing what you hear, especially on social media. I mean, I'm not talking about media. That's its own monster right now. But on social media, I mean, the copy and pasting of posts, it's like, did you bother to research it? Nobody researches anymore. It's like, oh my gosh, like it's being discerning of what is true for you. Okay, so liberally use the unfollow button or the snooze button until people around you wake up. Learning how to discern truth can happen in many different ways. For me, literally the hair on my arm stands up. As soon as I say something that sounds really wacky, hair on my arm stands up. And it's like, oh, that's true. That's how I know things are true. If you get goosebumps, that's how you know things are true. So it's figuring out what is your body's reaction to when something is true, because then you can hear something or read something and instantly know, well, that ain't true. I don't know why that's being spread around on social media, but there is no truth in that. This is what we have to do. We need to discern truth, because you can't make decisions with information that's not accurate. It's not informed consent. So 2 oils that I really like are Gary's Light and Higher Unity. So Gary's Light was specifically blended to help us with discernment so that we know what is right for ourselves. What is right for me may not be right for you. And it brings us into spiritual connection to open our minds, okay, to not be so stuck in a rigid belief system, you know, unwilling to budge out of it. This really opens the mind. And then Higher Unity helps us connect with our higher mind for the highest truth and best guidance. It basically reconnects our heart as a GPS system with our intuition so that we know our truth, we are guided in the right direction. I love that Higher Unity oil. It's amazing. And then your crystals are apophyllite. It's known as the stone of truth. Okay, well, that sounds pretty good. And then selenite actually clears confusion so that you can see the bigger picture. All right, but wait, there's more. All right, next is being authentically you. So how I know people are not handling the energies well and that they're numbing themselves is I see a lot of copying and pasting on social media. Be you. Be you. It's okay to share something if it's really good information, but be you. Share who you are. Share what you think. And I tell you, if I see one more post that says, I hereby do not allow Facebook to use my photos, I do not give consent. Oh my gosh, that has so long been since debunked. And I still see people posting it. It's like, no, please stop. Stop. That's just, people aren't thinking for themselves anymore. And that is a clear sign of somebody who is not going to evolve with these energies. And it's not going to be a very pleasant, happy life for them. Okay. Be authentically you. That means thinking for yourself. But it also means acting on your creative ideas, shining your light. We all have a gift to give in this world. If you are not showing your gift, you just deprived all of us of it. We all came here for a reason. So share your life. It may inspire somebody else. And, you know, it's about remaining positive. It's not about digging your head in the sand. It's just being positive and shining your light, because what do you do when you walk into a dark room? You don't banish the dark, you turn on the light. Turn on your light. Okay. So it's just by living your life, people are going to watch it. That's how you shine your light. So the oils that I really like are, there's 3 of them. Magnify your purpose, because that moves you into the energy of magnifying exactly who you are, which is about getting into an energy of giving rather than getting. Okay, so it brings out the best in you through a spiritual awakening. The One Purpose oil gets you inspired to live your authentic life and flow with the energies to get you there. That is a phenomenal oil. And then the duo that came out in June, the Roots and the Wings duo, wings. I mean, the name says it all, just soar, soar. But you have to be you. You can't be copying and pasting the life of somebody else. That's not you. You have to be you. And then your crystals are carnelian for creative support to bring your gifts to the world, as well as amethyst. Amethyst is high vibrational, yet it's grounding. So it helps you connect into your higher authentic self. All right, so that is a great crystal. Your next recommendation is to ground yourself, get out into nature, engage in earthing techniques, because this will help you ride the roller coaster that we now live on called Earth. You have to ground to the Earth's energies. Can't be high vibrational all the time, and you can't be grounded all the time. You have to be both. So these are things that I talk about in my crystal classes, is how do you do this? Here's the short story. Here are the oils and the crystals. Sacred Mountain, okay, when you feel overwhelmed and exhausted and fatigued and drained and numb and feeling all the negative energies, that's what you want to use. You want to use Sacred Mountain. You also want to use the Roots oil, because it really roots you into the earth. So when you're rooted, the earth is on this roller coaster, but you are belted in. That's what grounded means. So it's really important to stay connected with nature. Oils and crystals allow you to do that. Black tourmaline is a deeply grounding crystal, as is labradorite, because it actually grounds your spiritual energies into this lifetime for you. So it's very transformative. Labradorite, holding it and smelling the transformation oil will take you out of this world. That is a great pair. All right, the next thing to do is manifesting so that you feel freedom. So it's recognizing that manifesting is a real thing, and the manifesting energies are very strong, very rapid, and they're only going to increase as the planet evolves and through all these retrograde energies. So when you are tapped into manifesting what you want rather than what you don't want, you actually feel freedom. It doesn't matter what's going on around you. It doesn't matter what other institutions or other people are saying. You actually feel free in your heart. So if you don't feel freedom, it's because you chose that. No one can restrict your freedom without your permission. So it's about going out there and finding teachers that you resonate with. I've got all these people on YouTube that I listen to, podcasts that I listen to. I mean, there could be horrible things happening out in the world, which there are. I'm not going to get sucked into that because there's nothing I can do about those things. But if I take care of myself, keep my energy grounded and raised so that I am manifesting good things, that'll rub off on the next person and the next person and the next person. That's how we change the collective energies. Getting sucked up into drama does not change the collective energies for the better. So this is what I mean by, getting comfortable with discerning truth and being authentically you and grounding yourself so that you can manifest and feel free from within. So the oils I really like are the abundance oil, because it puts you in a frequency that everything is good. Not only is the glass half full, the glass is overflowing. Things are happening for your greatest good. Life isn't happening to you. It's happening for you. So it gets you out of the I can't or I don't. I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. It gets you out of that. And then the freedom oil. This really gets you inner focused on your own inner freedom. It rebalances all the depleted energy from the outside world, and it lifts the weights that the world has put on your shoulder with your permission. Might as well lift up with freedom. And then your crystals are green aventurine, which to me is one of the best manifestation crystals, because we don't manifest anymore with yellow crystals. It's all green. And if you take my crystal classes, I explain that. But green aventurine harmonizes your energy with happiness, and it has all the manifesting heart energy in it. Because if you're not happy, you're not going to manifest. And then Lemurian quartz. You know, this is all about feminine empowerment, energy, and manifesting. If you are coming from a disempowered mindset, energy, your thoughts, your actions, your words, everything you do is disempowered, you are going to manifest more things that disempower you. Lemurian quartz pulls you out of that. It empowers you. And then last but not least, it's about staying connected to people. You know, commune locally, you know, with your people. You know, the past 2.5 years put us online, and that's great because we made a lot of friends, but it's really important to develop and have a local tribe. You know, get into your community, have patio parties and coffee meetups, and go for a walk and have a meeting. I do a lot of walks where I have meetings with people. I'm like, grab your coffee, we're going for a walk in the woods. Okay, just be with people. And that is where energy is thriving. You know, a lot of people want to connect, but they're still restricting themselves. So this is where you being proactive to say, hey, let's go for a walk. Get them out of that restrictive energy, because they're not going to feel great in this energy shift. And the oil that I really love is the One Heart blend, because it opens your heart, it moves you into service, gives you a bright outlook. I mean, it's the oil of awakening. That's an awesome, awesome oil. And rhodochrosite is just a great crystal for healing your energy so that you attract the right people. If you're surrounded by people that don't lift you up and help you feel your best, you need to rhodochrosite your life to change your energies, go with all this transformation and upheaval energy that we're in, and you'll draw in the right people. All right? That's a lot, because there's a lot going on. You don't have to have all of this. Like I said, if you just had 1 or 2 crystals and the Valor and the transformation oil, you're good. You are better than 99.9% of the population. All right. And when things get really rough, and especially if your pets are reacting to your energies, all right, you just need to calm yourself down. You can make a roller bottle with this blend, or you can put it all together in a bottle and then just put a couple of drops in a diffuser for those moments that you're feeling like, whoa, what is going on with the energies? This is going to calm you and ground you, okay? So you're all going to get the recording, so don't feel like you have to write super fast. All right, so I have a couple classes coming up, because all my classes really talk about all of this. I have a Connecting with Healing Angels class coming up. It's starting Sunday night. It's going to be 2.5 hours each night, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. You're going to learn how to connect with 9 angels. And when you get messages from them, oh my gosh, you're going to, it's transformative. It's absolutely transformative. I just taught 3 days of an angelic healing method, and the ladies that were here will never be the same again. I mean, transformed. This is a beautiful class, and it's online. It's amazing. So I hope you think about it. If you are in the Sacred Shift, the Crystal Cluster, or my Essential Oil Team, go to those Facebook pages because there's a discount that I'm offering, okay? Basic crystal healing class is actually happening this Saturday, so that is closed. It'll come back in February. My advanced crystal healing is coming up. Those will not come back until March. And then crystal healing for animals is coming November 5th, okay? So if those interest you, definitely hop in, and definitely let's stay connected. So, all right. I am going to stop the sharing there, and I'm going to end the recording so that those of you who are here live, if you have any questions, you can ask them. So I'm just going to thank everybody who's watching the recording, and I hope you enjoy the energies.